The novel opens with a letter from General Melgren to King Tauri, reporting that General Sorengale has died and suggesting an alliance with Poromiel. Meanwhile, Violet Sorengale follows Xaden Riorson, who is now Venin, though he has not channeled his power since turning. Violet is determined to find a cure, and Andana suspects that finding the seventh breed of dragons like herself may hold the key to defeating the Venin. Violet discovers Xaden speaking to Jack Barlow, another Venin in his cell. Jack warns that Xaden will eventually lose control and drain her. To protect Xaden's secret, Violet seeks out Imogen to erase Jack's memory of their conversation. 2 weeks later, Violet meets with the Cenarium, where they struggle to negotiate peace with Poromiel. Later, while visiting her friend Sawyer in the infirmary, Violet and her friends are interrupted when a cadet stumbles into the infirmary screaming that everyone is dead. Venin have infiltrated the keep, disguised as scribes. Violet, Rhiannon, and Rhydok fight off an attack on Jack Barlow's cell, where Violet sees a silver-haired Venin woman who promptly disappears before her eyes, knowing their mission to retrieve Barlow has failed. Violet is given a task force to find the seventh dragon breed and is forced to accept Captain Grady as her team leader. Meanwhile, Viscount Tekaris gives Violet 3 more days to uphold her end of a previous deal and negotiate an alliance with the Griffon Flyers of Poromiel. Violet and her friends secretly commit treason to alter the Wardstone, allowing Griffon Flyers to use their lesser magics within the wards, and enabling the alliance between Navarre and Poromiel to make headway. When sent to the Samara outpost with her fellow second years as punishment, Violet and her squad decide to save a nearby town from a Venin attack because one of their flyers has family there. In the town, Violet sees the silver-haired Venin once again, who introduces herself as Theophany. Theophany wields what Violet assumes is lightning, but is actually storms. Meanwhile, Xaden is reinstated as Duke of Tyrrendor and given a seat on the Cenarium. He is reassigned to the Eastern Wing, separating him from Violet. Determined to learn more about the Irids, Violet retrieves her father's research hidden in her mother's former rooms. The research points her toward Deverelli, an isle kingdom where her father instructs her to locate a merchant named Narelle Anselm. Violet's quest squad is led into a trap on their very first mission, which kills both Captain Grady and one of their squad members, Aura Banehaven. With the captain's death, Violet handpicks her next squad: Mira, Dane, Rhydok, Xaden, Kat's cousin Drake, Prince Halden, and Halden's guard, Anna. The team travels to Deverelli, where Halden meets with King Cortland, and the others search for Narelle Anselm. They find her in a bookstore where Violet answers several questions to prove her intelligence. Narelle gifts her with 6 more books left by Violet's father. When Xaden and Violet learn that Halden has gotten into trouble with King Cortland, they visit the palace. They discover Halden has conspired with his guard to steal back many items traded to Deverelli over the century, and his guard, Anna, has paid the price with her life. When Cortland grows weary of them, he orders his guards to kill them all, prompting Xaden to channel and kill all the threats. Violet sends him back to Eretia to recover until his red-rimmed eyes return to normal. After gaining the upper hand by using Andana's appetite for Cortland's panthers, Violet convinces King Cortland to allow them to use the palace as a base during their mission. When Violet returns to Basquiath, her squad plans to search all the other islands for evidence of Andana's kind. Though their orders instruct them to return home between each island, they mutually agree that will take too much time. They decide to break the rules and search all the islands at once before they return. In the meantime, Violet adds 2 Griffon Flyers, Marin and Traeger, to her squad. They leave for Dun, where Violet notes people with hair like hers serving at Dun's temple. Violet, Dane, and Xaden must fight champions to gain audience with the Queen. Upon winning their challenge, the Queen hears them out but cannot offer them the troops they request for the war. The squad moves on to the Isle of Hedotis, where they meet with the Triumvirate and realise Xaden's mother is married to one of its members. The Triumvirate attempts to poison them and nearly succeeds in killing Garrick, but Violet's wit saves his life. When they move on to the Isle of Zahilna, they are forced to play a strange card game where they must smile and thank their benefactors for their gifts, whether good or bad. The game progresses positively until Tragger pulls an arrow card and gets fatally shot through the chest, which Violet must thank his killer for. The brutal game gains them an army of 40,000 to aid in the war against the Venan. When the group flies to a remote island to burn Trager and his Griffon's bodies, the Irids find them. They are disappointed with the weapon Undana has become, calling themselves Dragons of Peace. Undana is devastated not to have their approval, and Violet is disappointed to learn that they do not know a cure for Venin, nor do they wish to aid in the war or repower the continent's wards. Violet's squad returns home unsuccessful. Violet finally shares the truth of Xaden's affliction with her friends, revealing her primary dedication behind her search for a cure. When Aritia comes under attack, the squad rushes to protect the city. Arik tells Violet that protecting Dun's temple holds the key to Tyrendor's survival. Though she first ignores this advice, she ends up at the temple with Theophany, who is forced to flee when the wards come back in full force. Leothan, an Irid of Undana's kin, has come to the continent to recharge the wards before asking Undana to return home with him to become educated in their ways. With Violet's permission, Undana breaks her bond with Violet and goes with Leothan, leaving Violet heartbroken.